Hey folks, it's Ben. I'm here with our 1989 Ford Probe GT, first model year, all that fun stuff here. We're getting it show ready, right? We'd like to put it in some car shows this year. It's a beautiful model, rare color, just love it. So we got our wheels and tires are all done. But one problem we have mechanically, well, one of the many problems we have mechanically is that we've got zero brakes, like zero brakes. To the extent of I forgot I had no brakes, so I'm rolling it into the Quonset here under its own power, and yeah, e-brake it because whoops, I forgot I don't have any brakes. So cool, let's not wreck the joint, and let's go ahead and replace this thing. So the brake master cylinder is right here. Now, I'll be honest with you, first Ford I really have ever worked on, I'm presuming that the ABS system wouldn't be causing my zero pedal feel. Pedals, like there's nothing there. So my guess is that the seals in here are stuck or something like that. It is actually a fairly simple device. Let me show you the new one. Usually my videos are brought to you by Napa, where I get my parts. They're not brought to you by, I have to buy the parts. But unfortunately, a rebuild master cylinder for a 1989 Ford Probe is probably gonna be no, is how that rolls. And so Rock Auto had these wholesale units for 12 bucks, and you think, oh, it's just crap, but it's actually an AC Delco, which my box is around here somewhere, probably made in 1989. You can see where the O-rings have stained the master cylinder, but 12 bucks for this guy, brand new, no core, hello, and an air filter, which of course none of my local stores had, 2 bucks. So hard to beat those prices. The boxes say that they're probably from 89, 90. They're that old, but whatever, it works. So here we have our master cylinder. Even the connections look right. Now the only issue is I'm going to link to my Pontiac video. A lot of people like Pontiacs, myself included, and I changed the master cylinder on that. And I had a brake bleeding kit, so I could bench bleed it on the bench. Oh, I know. And it actually directed the brake fluid back into the top of the master cylinder here in the little reservoir tank. I don't have one of those kits. I don't know where it went. That was 10 plus years ago. But we'll figure something out. Maybe just put it in the car and bench bleed it on the car. That'd be one thing to do, where you just kind of bleed it off on the lines here. Something like that. But yeah, it's brand new and it's the right shape. And I'm looking at this thing thinking, what the heck is that? But what it is there's a sensor that goes in that hole, I'm guessing. And when the brake fluid gets low, that magnet trips it. It tells you have low brake fluid. That's because there's no actual internal connections or plug-ins or anything like that. But anyway, I'm gonna go check the Bonneville, my parts car, see if I can put some ends on this. If not, then we'll be back taking the old one off. Alrighty, so the Bonneville lines don't fit right on this master cylinder directly. In fact, they have an adapter that makes these a little bit smaller, so that's not gonna work. So we're just gonna take it off the car. So at this point, we've got a syringe, veterinary use only, people. And we're going to suck out the fluid here so I don't make such a hot mess when I take it off the car. Okay. Usually I use a turkey baster, but can't find it, of course. So, and great way to suck out all the reservoirs and change the fluid. Our clutch one is gross. It's definitely got to get changed. It's got almost water in it. And yeah, that'll get us down so that when I undo the lines, it just doesn't all drip through onto the ground. So we suck down the fluid here, and I'm hoping this sensor just kind of pulls out of the side. And I might have to push it out, actually. Yeah, I guess I'll push it from the other side. So we're in 10 millimeter land here on these lines. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab one, and this is not the right tool, it's just a regular wrench. You could use a flare wrench preferably. Hopefully these aren't going to be holy crap tight. Nope, typical brake line tight. So that's good news. If you're smart, you got a catch pan underneath to catch all this fluid that'll come dribbling out. Let's do this one too, break it free. Which is nice, sometimes they twist the lines and then you're like, ugh, I can't. This is super tight. And of course they put 18 brackets on this silly thing. So to get the master cylinder off, it'll be not just straightforward bolting, I guess. And get this part out. I can't really get on there more than once. And that one's loose. This one is loose enough. There we go. So that's tight.
So that's the lines, and then we have probably that 13 there on the booster we got to take off. Okay, so there we have the 2 lines undone, the 2 bolts are undone. I had to undo the bracket that holds the clutch line, I believe. So I'm trying not to put any stress on that. And then that, yeah, that also was against the studs on the vacuum canister here. So roll that forward a little bit and wiggle this guy out.
Sensor to pull out.
There we go. So that's out and the rod's there. Boom. We have that, and there's our master cylinder. It's good.
Alrighty, so you can see some differences. The top tanks is slightly different. And unfortunately, I don't know how tight or awesome these are, but we've got to turn this one down some so that it matches our brake line. So I just don't know how, like it won't thread in anymore, but I got to back it up a little bit. And unfortunately, I don't want it to cause any So we're gonna take this, and it's a 15, it says. Pop. What we need to do is have them both pointed down like ours here. And it looks like this one was correct, but this one got moved. So we loosen the nut. That's a 14. Yep. It's probably SAE something. There. So now our brake lines are hopefully pointed pretty close that we'll be able to move it in there. Then we have our little magnetic sensor that needs to come across as well. And it has a clip. That's why it wasn't being friendly in the car. So have to push in on each side. See, there's a little tongue on each side. So we gotta push them in as we pull. And there you go. I need 2 screwdrivers at once to do this, actually.
You need to develop a pair of really flat pliers for that.
So our sensor, like it, yeah, we're going like this and goes click. Oh no. Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect.
Right, so this is the part where I explain what we're doing again, but for the camera. So I still want to bench bleed it. I just always have, this is the way it goes. So I don't have any tubes that would actually come in from the outlets up into the tank or any other means, but I do have an assistant / co-owner, whatever, that can put their fingers over these ports while I run the cylinder back and forth, and hopefully they'll act as a check valve, and we'll just pee it into this container here. I did buy enough brake fluids that we could comfortably do that, so that's what we're going to do right now. So that's our bench bleeding. We got you just want to get most of the air out of the darn thing, most bubbles, because if you keep bubbles in it, it'll compress and stuff. And then we'll bleed the heck out of it, and that'll push anything else through the system, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. Put the lid on it, and let's go back to the car, and we'll bolt her in. Sweet, okay, so there's the piston that comes out. Now my nuts are here. Let me empty my pockets so I don't scratch the... If only I had some sort of Napa fender cover I could use to protect my car with. Oh, wait. So next up for me, you can let go.
Did I?
Yep. I mean, it leaks, but it's not, it's the inside is what we care about. So now what we're gonna do is try to re-thread these lines into this master cylinder. So we'll put it approximately back where it lives, which oddly I'm going under the fuel filter, which is crazy.
Watch that battery charger.
Yeah.
So we have this bracket, which we're having issues with, which is a line for the clutch master cylinder.
Holds the clutch, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the bracket, this bracket holds the line. This goes over the master cylinder. So this is the original master cylinder. As you can see, there's no material right here. And on the new one, there is a bump there, which is getting in the way of this bracket fitting onto the posts properly. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get rid of this bit of material here, just make this a little bit higher, so hopefully that we'll be able to get that bracket on properly. Okay, so I made a little hollow,
Little hollow, yep, she's pretty big.
and hopefully that will give us room to get around that bump.
Sweet.
Where did you hang this?
Right there. So for those of you playing the home game,
So here's our new master cylinder. We did have to modify this black bracket that you saw us modify to get it to fit over a little bump on there, and it did work fine. We used a hand grinder to do that. Our clutch supports are back on, so that's all good. We have our wire for our low brake fluid is back plugged in because we squished it in there. You probably saw that. Our brake lines are nice and tight. So now the moment of truth.
we were having issues with the pedal right to the floor as if nobody was home. And so now I'm going to press the brake pedal. There we go.
Yep,
We got pressure.
you can hear it.
Yep, so we got to bleed the system. But you know what? I'm going to stretch this series out and we're going to do that next time. So we'll show you how to bleed the brakes on your, because we got to also read about the ABS system. But yeah, now there's brake pedal. And that's exactly, not a ton, but there's some. So if you have any questions, leave them. If you have any comments, leave those too. Please subscribe to my channel, Turbo 231, for more probe and other car updates. And not a small innocent chime. Your key's in the ignition. Could you please take it out? Not the bang, get it out. All right, guys. Catch you later.